こんにちは。名前はレックス。ベーブルプラネットへようこそ。Japan has always been known as this mysteriously wonderful place. From its beautiful history, to its amazing food, to its brilliant technology, to the weirdness of its popular media, everyone has one or another reason to love Japan and Japanese people. And if you're in this channel, that reason probably has to do with their language. It's fascinating to see how it's so simple and yet so complex, to see its writing so logical at times and so bizarre at others. It makes you want to learn it no matter what. Well, if you want to speak Japanese, you've come to the right place. Here we will analyze it and talk about resources you can use, and if you follow along, you'll be speaking Japanese faster than you can say "Goran no sponsor no take de okurishimashita." This, my friends, is the nuance of fluency. Learning Japanese is a lot like swimming. It's very easy to do as long as you start with the assumption that all your instincts are wrong and it won't be like anything you've ever done before. We start with the sounds. Japanese doesn't have too many difficult sounds. It's actually very easy for people from most backgrounds. First, it only has 5 vowels: a, i, u, e, o. And yes, that is the right order. Again, like swimming. These are almost all present in most major languages including English, with only a few exceptions. I'll talk about most of them in the next episode of how to pronounce everything, but we'll go through the different ones. The first is ra, which is made by trying to make a la sound and then, almost at the end, slightly tapping the roof of your mouth with the tip of your tongue. You try it. Ara, iri, uru, ere, oro. The second one is tu, which is a bit easier to make. Do you know this character, Hatsune Miku? Well, English speakers divide her name as Hatsune, but Japanese speakers say it Ha-tsu-ne. Practice that and you'll have it soon. Now, Japanese doesn't have letters like we do in most of the West. They can use the Latin alphabet, but in general their words are divided in mora, which are groups of one consonant sound and then one vowel sound. To represent this mora, they have 2 syllabaries: hiragana, which they use for almost everything, and katakana, which is used to write foreign words for emphasis and for the word katakana, because why the hell not? The only mora that don't follow this pattern are the vowels and the n, which goes always at the end and counts as its own syllable, not as an added letter at the end of a word. Besides hiragana and katakana, Japanese is usually written using kanji, which are Chinese characters that have been incorporated to the Japanese language. This is a short video, so I won't go too deep into it, but there are about 30,000 kanji. Don't click away yet! For most reading, you'll only need to learn about 1,000 of them, and even that is not as hard as it sounds. Most kanji are made up of radicals, which are small parts that come together to make a full word. There are about 200 of these, and you can use them to make up almost all kanji in the Japanese language. Now, the part that almost no one tells you about, the grammar. We're gonna cover the very basics, so there's probably gonna be something I missed, but I'll leave you links to resources that can help you. The first thing you need to know is the order of words. In languages like English or French, the words are ordered like subject, verb, object. In contrast, in Japanese, the verb always goes at the end, and the subject is often deduced from context. So, a sentence like I eat tuna would be translated as maguro o taberu. Maguro means tuna and taberu means to eat. O is a particle. There aren't any particles in English, but essentially these are words that serve to connect other words. These go after a word to indicate whether it is a topic, subject, object, target, direction, possession, or means, or also to connect 2 words. But let's go back to the verbs. Do you know that stereotype of German where words get longer and longer to change their meaning? Well, something similar happens in Japanese. The end of a verb gets longer depending on what a sentence means. Let's make an example with a verb we already know. Taberu, I eat. Tabenai, I don't eat. Tabeta, I ate. Tabetai, I want to eat. Tabetakunai, I don't want to eat. Tabetakatta, I wanted to eat. Tabetakunakatta, I did not want to eat. Taberareru, I can eat. Taberarenai, I can't eat. Taberarenakatta, I couldn't eat. I told you it's easy, you just need an open mind to new systems. Finally, let's wrap this up with the honorifics. You know how sometimes in English you refer to people with titles like Your Highness, Your Honor, Yours truly? to show that you respect the person you're talking to, well, Japanese takes this up to 11. It has an honorific system that is designed to talk politely to anyone you encounter, using suffixes like san, senpai, or sama, and changing some verbs to clarify your relationship to the person you're speaking to. Japanese culture cares a lot about respect and honor, and so their language reflects this perfectly. While this can sometimes make it harder to talk to strangers, it also means that no matter where you live, you will always know the way people see you, and very often that is a good thing. I hope all of this was useful for you. There are a bunch of links in the description so you can learn more about the Japanese language. Next month we will study Spanish, my native language, so come back if you want to learn more about it. And next week we'll have an episode of The Metronome, where I'll show you a piece of beat poetry that I hope you enjoy. Subscribe and follow me on Twitter and Tumblr for more language related content. Thank you for watching. Cheers to you all!